Today I'm going to be planting a variety of tomatoes, indeterminate and determinate tomatoes. I'm going to show you how I plant tomatoes. Last year I got abundance of harvest. Here I have about 56 tomato plants, and I'm going to show you how I plant tomatoes. Here I have a variety of tomato plants, and these two right here, I'm not sure, they're volunteers, and they've been into the garden for about 2 weeks. And these are late planting tomato plants. I usually plant a little bit earlier, but because of our weather of rain and coolness, I decided to wait and make sure that I don't get hit with a frost. So these over here are Jamestown tomatoes. I planted those last year. They grow really viney, big. They need to be trellised up, but they produce big tomatoes. Here is the hybrid Early Dolls. Early Dolls is a variety that I have not planted, but as their name speaks, they are supposed to produce early. Then we have the hybrid Giant Garden Paste. The Garden Paste is good for making spaghetti sauce, salsas. It has less seeds into it. It's a hybrid, so it's going to grow pretty big. And then we're going to go down here, which these giant tomato paste I have not grown before, so that's going to be a new variety for me to grow this year. This is the big beef steak. The big beef steak grows really vigorous and produces a lot of tomatoes. Then we have the Ruggers. Ruggers is a variety I have not grown before. I was sent by a subscriber, Mr. Henry from Virginia, and so we have the Ruggers here. On this side, I decided to plant some more Ruggers. And these are the Roma tomatoes. Roma tomatoes I planted last year. They produce a lot, and I really did like them. I was really surprised, so therefore I'm growing them again. Roma tomatoes. They put out a lot of small tomatoes. They don't have a lot of seeds into it. Good for making pasta, spaghetti sauce, salsa. And then I have 3 Celebrities. Celebrities, one of my popular varieties I love to grow. They put out a cluster of tomatoes. They're nice size and they're good tasting. And then we have these right here. Scoot over, I forgot the name. I think they're Hybrid Better Boys. Hybrid Better Boys is a variety that you will see at the big box store, along with early doll plants. So Jamestown I order from Seeds and Such. So this is a variety of tomato plants that I'll be planting or have planted. Now I'm going to show you how I plant my tomato plants. So the first thing I like to do is take my shovel. It makes it fast and easy. I'm going to be planting these deeper, so these plants will go into the ground approximately about right there. This soil has been amended for a while. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I got a variety of things I like to put into this hole here. I like to put organic bone meal. Organic bone meal will eventually break down. I'm putting a handful, so that's approximately about 2 tablespoons of bone meal. Then I put blood meal. Blood meal is basically nitrogen. Tomato plants at the beginning like some nitrogen. You don't want to put too much nitrogen to your plants because it will eventually just make a lot of leaves and you're into the fruit. So I'm going to go ahead and put a handful, well I'll probably put 2 handfuls of blood meal. The next one I'm going to be putting is tomato and vegetable garden plant food. It's not organic, so it's going to go ahead and work now. And then the blood meal and the bone meal is going to break down and be working for later on. I put in approximately 2 tablespoons. I put in another handful of gypsum. It's good for calcium deficiency. And I'm going to put in another about 2 handfuls. Gypsum helps with blossom end rot. And so last year I didn't have any, and so that's why I'm doing this again. Another one is this lime. Lime helps also with the pH. It also helps with the blossom end rot. It has different minerals into it, and this is also going to cover up the smell of the bone meal and the blood meal. So I put that in there, and then I just take my soil and I'm going to cover that up a little bit because of the fertilizer down there. My root system looks really super good, but it's time to get them into the ground. Now they have been watered, and we've had some rain yesterday, so they should do pretty good at this point in time. Later on, I will take and give them a little dose of water. Most of the time, that's what I do. I don't have it out here right at the moment, but I just take and cover these back up. And I put the dirt around my plant. So I've gone a shovel length down, and then I'm going to put that dirt around my plant. Now I'm going approximately about 2 feet with these plants. I think this might be a little bit closer, but I give my plants a haircut as they grow. I'm not growing leaves, I'm growing tomatoes. Blood meal. Tomato vegetable plant food, gypsum, and then lime, garden lime. These bottom leaves have already been trimmed off. My root system looks good. I don't need to tear it apart. It's perfect. And then I'll just take my my cultivator and I'll just make my little row back up, push this dirt up around them, and that's it. So guys, I thank you very much for watching. I hope that this helps you of growing and planting tomatoes. I love growing tomatoes. They produce a lot, and so I got less tomatoes than I had last year, but last year they did such a great harvest. I didn't need that many, but I still planted a lot. But I hope this helps you, and I'll see you on to the next video. Both rows are planted now. I believe some of them suffered a little bit of transplant shock. It's about 60 degrees, 64 degrees out here right at the moment. I usually like to plant them in the afternoon. I believe they'll pull right on through. If not, I've got plenty of tomatoes here. That's why you want to plant a little bit more than you need. So I like to plant in the afternoon. I'm still going to cut some of these lower branches off. These are planted deep. The nutrients has been added to it. I tried not to move the roots system that much. They had a really good root system. But I see a little bit of transplant shock. And these varieties here was growing bigger than I usually grow them and get them into the garden. I usually go ahead and have them in the garden. We've had a lot of rain and different varieties of weather. So I was trying to hold out, especially to see if we had surprising frost. But they're into the ground. And this is how I plant tomatoes. So now we're going to see the harvest of these. What I'm going to do is go ahead and cut some of these lower branches off. I believe in about, I think it's 4 days or so, we're going to have some more rains possibly. And I don't want these leaves touching the ground. And that's why I go ahead and trim them, give them a haircut before I plant them. When I have them into the greenhouse, I cut those little limbs off for the fact that, you know, they were just growing so abundantly and they don't need all those leaves because half the plant went into the ground. We had a really super hot day. One hot day, it jumped up like, I think 70. We was staying around 70, 72. It jumped up to 80 plus, and the plants did not like that. It kind of threw them into a loop. They kind of shocked them. And so I did notice some blight jumping on them. I have sprayed them with a fungicide, and that's another reason I'm planting more, just in case some of them don't pull through. I don't have 3 rows of tomatoes like I did last year because I didn't need as many tomatoes, but I do want my abundance of tomatoes at the same time. Thanks guys for watching, and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you on to the next video.